So we internally say we believe that the GPs have sort of three avatars. It's who they think they are. The second is who the LP community thinks they are. And the third is who they really are. And it is our job to try to line the three up and make sure everybody understands why there's a bit of difference in perspective. But, we are surprised by prospective GPs sometimes coming in and positioning themselves a certain way. They think their results are much better than they are, and they think that their companies are doing better than they are. And it's often a challenge to try to dispel that early on and say, listen, you're going to have a hard time going into the market with what you have. Probably the biggest shortfall is people coming in with pretty short track records where they believe that one or two realizations is really validating a thesis. And it's hard. As we said, this is a market where you may have 1,000 other groups in the market at the same time or being analyzed maybe for future commitments. Just to put it charitably, yes, some GPs have let's say, an unrealistic view of where they sit in the hierarchy.
You knew I was going to ask you.
Do I agree?
Just give your comments.
I think you have a very hard job. I know I oftentimes will rely on the agents to give feedback, but I think one of the things that hopefully most people who know me know is that I'm pretty direct and honest and try to be constructive. I do see this as a way to apply kind of your best foot forward. I honestly, mean that. I do think in this industry, it's all about relationships. It is people first and foremost, and sometimes we get lost in all the numbers and don't step back from, look at the bigger picture of this is, you are presenting kind of the best face of yourself, and understanding where you sit relative to market is important, particularly when you have 1,000 opportunities that you're looking at. And so, as Shant said, being able to kind of look at where you sit within that relative index, and also, understand kind of what your story, how it resonates. It's funny because I have we have these little buzzwords we use. It's almost like buzzword bingo. We don't do it in the actual meeting anymore, hopefully, at least. But top quartile, proprietary, value add, operating. There are certain things that people throw out that they assume is going to that's going to really pop and stick in people's minds. And sometimes, it exists. It's true. It is a key differentiator. But in order to understand that, we're leveraging that information, that data as a way to kind of harness what are those differentiators. And oftentimes once you peel it all apart, and it's quite hard to do. I mean, again, we have a lot of tools today, whereas in the past maybe we didn't, but you still have to wait and ask the right questions to get the information that you need. And once you pull it all apart, you can really tease out, I would say, some of the key differentiators within those investors. The challenge may be, they may not always be the ones they're presenting. And so, I think like anything in life, being able to self-reflect and have awareness is really it's a measure to success, in our opinion. And, we've seen great pitches, and we've seen pretty awful pitches, and we've seen all sorts of things in between. And, I would say I would grab onto, that analysis and all that information and assess myself or assess, myself as a GP to understand how best to be presenting a differentiated story and a value-added, enhanced story to the market.